Hello, this is Dirty 20 Gaming, and after a very long time, my name is Kevin. Holy cow, it's been an age. There's been many, many good reasons that it's been a while, but let's not talk about the past. Let's talk about the present and the future, because in the present, these amazing people have agreed to join me from the farthest reaches of what some would say is a mythical place. But I know better because I know some people who are from there. But staying up into the wee hours of the morning to play a game with me will never stop making me feel like I don't deserve it. But they have done so anyway.
You
Thank
do.
you very much to Brill Chan. Let's start with you. Thank you for joining us
Okay.
tonight.
Hello. Thank you for playing. I'm very happy to be here. Uh, I'm Brilchan. And for now, I'm playing John Doe Deere, crazy magical nobleman. And for now, that's all because I'm just trying to survive with my body, which likes to say no to anything I want to do. But I'm happy to be here today,
Well, we'll see if
and
we can
that's all
distract
for
you.
today.
We'll see if we can distract you for the next couple
Yeah,
of hours at
I'm
least.
sure you can.
And also from the faraway place, dare I say, is let me just get this out there now. Through seven forests, over seven mountains, and across seven seas, not to mention a couple of oceans. Uh,
And a
Janet,
lot of
thank
sand.
you. Thank you so much for joining us. Where else? I know you do some other stuff. Where can we find you?
Guys, you can find me on YouTube and Twitch. And, and it's nice to come back to play
Oh,
with you.
thank you. You can find these folks and other wonderful folks, including Lurky Lurkin in the crowd. I'm so happy. Bison underscore Stonefist. Hey, buddy. Oh, there's the
Hi,
Discord. Join these folks. The amazing and stunning survival story known as Bison underscore Stonefist and others. You can meet them all there, and all of that is way more important than what we're about to do. But what we're about to do is play a game, so we should do that. Do what you're good at, Kevin. The character art that you see tonight has been done using Hero Forge, a spectacular source of art and minis. And you should, even though we're not sponsored by them, use them. Use them lots. They're amazing. They've become an art style. It's really kind of cool. Every day you look and you go, "That I know that. That's Hero Forge."
Yeah.
The game systems we're using tonight. Now, yes, I said systems with an S because this game was very much inspired by a game system called Grok, but for reasons, we are playing it using a system called Quest. So, thank you to both of those systems. Um, let's do it. Our two. I don't usually do summaries, but I'm gonna because it's been a while.
Yeah.
Our two heroes. Definitely not pirates, even though you just stole a pirate ship and are hiding in a bay. Definitely not pirates because you've not been found guilty. There, I found
Yeah.
it out for you. Are in the final stages. You've got to get across the sea made of sand and full of monsters to an island protected by a navy of invading warships, and from there into a city that you've only heard of. But before that, you got to get out of this little bay. There is a sandstorm blowing on a sand ocean. To say that it's gritty is an understatement. If we're talking uh, sandpaper grit, this is two. This is like small gravel grinding against you. You can see it peeling the paint off the ship. It's that stormy. The merchant marine, all the crew have packed all the stuff on board and folded up the strand beasts into usable space and lashed them down on the decks for this journey. But even they're not looking particularly excited about this. The two of you have a moment before I start something else. But the two of you have got a moment with yourselves. Oh, by the way, Hermes and Dizzy, you're not even out of the bay yet, but you've been on the ship for a little while. They've been on the ship for a little while now, and they are whatever the Tyrannosaurus Rex version of seasick is. They're not well. They've
So
gone.
they are yellow.
Yes,
The
they got
faces.
yes, they now the same color as a rubber chicken. They are downstairs with their heads out of portholes, being unwell. So they're not going to be of much use to you on this trip. But the camera comes swooping down out of the sand and does that thing where the camera blocks the sand, so we can see the two of you standing on the stern of the ship up by the wheel. Go.
I yell to John, do you have any spell to predict this storm? It will be a lot lightning.
To predict the storm not, but let me check. Maybe I can find some warding space. Let's see. This one turns me into a ghost, but only when I die. No, that won't be useful. This one would give us all flaming magical weapons. No, no. Oh, here I go. There's sigils. I can try to make a magical drawing sign and imbue it with magical power. Maybe it can protect us a little from the storm. Let me try this. And he starts to, I think he would find some paint
Yeah.
and he would start to making it on the deck. Or maybe he would take out his magical sword and start to first with the paints and then with engraving it, and he would try to put in his magic, and
Okay.
it's the ability sigil. So like in real life magic belief systems, make a magical sign of protection and put points, 2 mana points in
Okay.
it to keep the ship safer,
Okay.
because it's
I
all
go,
about intention with magic.
Yes. Okay. Ashley.
I go to, I go to Bob and ask him if he have a lot supply weapon and gunpowder before we deploy.
And as he's opening his mouth to say that, the bulkhead beside you says, "Oh, we've plenty of all that. Hang on a second." And you hear the sound of kicking, thump, thump, thump. And a piece of wood comes loose from the wall, and you see a very shiny black leather boot. And it backs up, kicks a couple more times, and a couple more boards come loose. And then there's a moment of, and out from this hole in the wall starts crawling what is clearly a sailor. They've got a uniform on, but all the like the epaulets have been ripped off. Where there used to be medals has all been ripped off. But he's still got the really shiny boots and a really nice blue, because you always make the navy blue because you know that's what you do. And he's got one of the little wedge caps, the little front back wedge cap, which even
The
in the storm
tricor.
somehow is perfect and it isn't moving. And he stands up and looks at the two of you and throws a big salute that is clearly just.
John takes
I
out
said,
his pistol
I
and
said,
pointed at
I
him.
said, and you, who are you? And why you ruin my ship? And I'd point on wall.
And he freezes at that moment as the two of you turn on him. He looks really surprised, like he's not quite sure why. And he's, "Oh, sorry, Ensign Martin, media, ex-ensign. I used to be part of the Phyrexian meritocracy navy, but they threw me out.
Under new management.
Yes. The pirates got me, actually. Thank you for that. Can I put this down? Please don't shoot me."
Yeah,
Bob, boss,
yeah, but better
what do
if
you
you
think? Do you want?
fix fix this wall. If I before we decide if we hire him or not, I want him to fix wall.
Oh, of course, yes. And he actually turns around and just mutters a couple of words, just and the wall goes, dun, 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 puts it back together.
Oh, it's nice to have another magic person around.
And he kind of nods to you and he says, "Pardon me, I should have known better. As I was saying," and he turns it into a bow this time. Uh, Martin Median, ex-ensign of the Phyrexian meritocratic navy. And, if I may say so, I come from a navy based on merit, the best damn navigator there's ever been in that navy. And he grins.
You can stand up, but why you want us to hire you? I mean, there's a lot sailors. Why us?
Well, a couple of things. You've got a ship with a bunch of cannons, and yes, they're fully loaded and ready to go. Top shelf work. The crew's kind of like, yeah. And then he looks back at you and says, second, you're heading towards the people that fired me. So if you wouldn't mind, I will work for free if I get to get you past the blockade. I want
It's
to make
not
them look
up
like
for us to
asses.
decide.
Okay, but do you have experience going through this storm with creature more active?
And he very pointedly looks out at the storm and looks back at you and says, what storm? This is just sort of Wednesday.
But what if we get worse when we deploy?
Oh, absolutely. But I've been sailing that sea since I was 12. So 17 years now. I'm still an ensign. I really have to learn to shut up. I got fired for calling an asshole, and then they threw me off the boat. But besides all of that, the pirates got me. But besides all of that, never been sunk, never been et. As I said, I'm
What?
very
That's a
good.
success.
What are you advice how to prepare before deploy?
Oh, these fine people are extremely skilled at what they're doing, and they point around at your crew. He says, we're going to have to watch for the sails filling up with sand, the deck filling up with sand. Don't worry about maintaining course and navigation. That's on me. Uh, and of course, if any attacks from enemy ships or the serpents. I've never been sunk
We
by
don't
serpents. I'm
need
not going to tell you I've never been attacked by them.
we don't need more supply against this creature.
Oh, no, not at all. We will either be past the storm, past the creatures, past the navy, and on the beach in 22 hours, or we'll be hopelessly lost in the depths of the sea or dead.
I
John
prefer
would look to
first
Bobby,
option.
our boss, to Bob, and Mr. Robert or Bob, you get the final word. You're the boss around here. I think he may be useful.
I think he also useful. I could also hope we don't have drama with Marinas when they see him.
Oh, they won't see us. I did mention I'm the best, didn't I?
Yeah.
Unless you want to sneak
Yeah.
up on one and shoot them, I will gladly help you do that. But if you'd rather just stay away, at least from the big ships, that I can guarantee. I mean, we're not exactly, and he looks around at your full-size pirate ship. We're not exactly sneaky, but I'll get you past the worst of it.
Okay, so when we begin travel,
He looks at you and kind of looks around. So I've been the tide turns in about 2 hours.
okay, so we are settled.
Seeing all of that, John thinks we're gonna need a stronger sigil, and he pumps another 2 points
Okay.
to make it stronger.
What is the payoff on sigil? I know it costs you 4 points, but what does it actually say that it does?
Yeah, it costs 2 points, but
Oh, you doubled it up.
seeing
Yeah.
all of this, he would pump 2 points more. It's just draw a magic sigil that affects terribly creatures in various ways.
Okay.
So he would try to ward off ward of the sea creatures. Like
Oh, okay.
if
I
you
gotcha.
garden,
Yep.
you got some stuff to scare off the moles, but
Or you
not
get, yeah,
to kill them.
or you get
Uh,
ladybugs
la-
to eat the aphids, and then the lady. Yeah, I got it.
yes.
I got you.
Or,
Yep.
or
So,
you put a beer can on the
all right.
metal rod and they are scared of the sun. That's the same idea, but with magic.
Yep. So
Like,
Martin comes up to you as you're doing it and actually makes some suggestions, right? Oh, the big green ones with the large scales don't like water, and so you can work in like a water image.
okay,
These ones
he
hate.
makes
These
the
ones don't.
adjustment.
These ones have a historic mythical fear of giant crabs, so you can build that into the sigil and all that good stuff, right?
Okay,
So
and
he
he
helps you.
does.
Yep.
He really listens to him
Yep.
and pays
Uh,
uh, pays attention to
Yep.
what he says.
Ashley.
and Ashley climb on on top on ship and throw a flag Jolly Roger because she feel she don't like this pirate
Okay.
sign
Okay. Oh.
and
Oh.
she's
Oh.
and
It.
she's
Mhm.
shocked that John don't do this and don't put unicorn flag or something like that.
Well, speaking of
But
speaking of flags,
I think
Ashley.
Bob put the flag over uh, merchants. I think last game.
Nah, if we did, I'm changing it because I like this better.
Okay.
Um, Ashley, you shimmy all the way up to the top of where the flag is, and you get there just as you're reaching out to sort of cut it free. You see the button. You know what that button does. This is a programmable flag, so you have the choice with the push of a button and a thought. Ashley, what is the flag flying above your ship?
I don't know. I just press the button only to not Jolly Roger. But I don't know. Still, I don't decide what should be.
So, so could I suggest something? Maybe Ashley would be a gun crossed with wheat. Wheat plant.
I was
Yeah,
yeah. I was thinking of yeah, like the almost yeah, similar to that, like the flag of your homeland, maybe.
I don't know because other people crew is not from homeland. So
Ah,
I don't want to be
ah.
egoist.
Okay, well, we do have the option of the company flag that was mentioned. John mentioned that there is this caravan. The people that are running the caravan are from a company. They have a flag.
Oh, this is perfect.
Okay,
But then they would like announcing we are merchants, come and rob us. John
and
would
you
say to
mutter that.
Ashley.
Yeah. Well, Martin overhears you, and he says, "Ah, yes," which means they come in completely unprepared, and we blow them to how do you put it? Hell.
Oh,
And he's a big
smithereens.
grin. He
You
says,
are right.
so yes, the company flag as Ashley, as you way up there and you the wind's blowing and you click it and vroom, the flag changes. For some reason, it's blue and silver in my head. I hope that works because it's
It
nighttime on
works
a red
amazing.
planet, so it was kind of ready. It was kind of comes into like purple and metallic red is the look. But the split second it appears, they can see it from the deck, and the entire merchant marine starts singing the company anthem. And the thing is, it's a company anthem, so they don't stop working while they're doing it. They're still pulling ropes, they're still cleaning sails, they're still sweeping decks, they're still loading cannons, but they're just belting out at the top of their lungs the corporate version of a pirate shanty, all about good
Uh,
corporate. Yeah.
actually, Ashley is thinking I now regret this because they look like from some sort cult
Yep.
indoctrination with
Mm.
his anthem.
Oh yeah.
But she said nothing.
Yep.
She's thinking inside.
Yep. Sort of grinning and coming. Are you coming down or are you staying up in the crow's nest?
Down
Okay.
because more safe.
Yes, absolutely.
And John would take that time after he finished the slick to make himself a makeover pirate chic. It's like everything is overstated. Like his pants
Uh-huh.
are green and
Oh my
with
goodness.
red stripes.
Yep.
and he has like 5 different outfits sewn with
Oh
magic.
yes, the
It's
campest
like,
pirate ever. I
yeah,
gotcha.
and
Perfect. Yep.
5 different what was the lilo and the handkerchief and the
Oh
neck.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. It's like 5 different ones sewn together.
And while you're doing
And he
that,
thinks he looks great. And a
oh, he
trench
does.
of
Looks
it.
fantastic. Fabulous is the word that comes to mind. But while you're doing that, the two of you, Martin is. He looks for all the world like he's been doing this forever. He goes all the way around the merchant marine. He's slapping shoulders, telling jokes, bumping people, and just getting people pumped up. He doesn't know the words to the anthem, but he stops and looks sort of stern when they get to the important parts, and he's just playing them like an instrument. Right? They are so pumped up and ready to go in this storm. And then he walks back along the length of the ship, up the back, and just rests one hand on the wheel, reaches down, talking about handkerchiefs, pulled up a checkered black and white handkerchief just up to under his eyes, pulls down his tricorn or his ensign's hat like it protects anything at all. His little wedge cap, he pulls it down just an extra inch, like it's in storm mode now. And he just leans because you guys have still got time. But he looks at
Actually,
home, is putting it politely. He looks like this is where he's born to be.
actually, it is come to John and ask in his ears, whispering, "Could you check my intention with spell?"
That's a great idea, my dear friend. And he would do so. He would use the magic eye to get an impression of uh, uh, no, it was no soul gaze, yeah.
Yeah. So you're
Or
sort of looking out and
one
sort of
point.
picking a random monster and trying to see what their motivation is.
Uh, you peer into the eye of another creature to sense their ideas and fluffs.
Okay. So you have to be able to look them in the
Close.
eye. Who are you looking in the eye?
Our no friend, the
Oh,
navigator.
Martin. Okay. I thought you were trying to do it to a monster. All right. Um, it, your look, don't burn the points because your look,
Okay.
it almost bounces off. Martin Median, that's his last name, because it's a meritocracy, so I thought median would be a good name, is the most sailory sailor that ever did sail. He is, this is what he does. He does not deserve to be in a navy. He deserves to be like racing yachts. He is just, this isn't a storm to him. And he loves you guys because you're doing the hard work. You're running, like you're being the captain, and you're doing the heavy magic lifting. He gets to do what he loves, which is, well, two things: make a ship go fast, and make the Phyrexian meritocracy navy look like a bunch of idiots.
So John would whisper all of that to Ashley. So it comes down to he was honest, really,
He's
in what he was telling us.
shallow and
That's a
talented.
new one.
That's Martin in a nutshell.
I,
Talented and
I,
shallow.
I whispered, I whispered to John, "That's a relief." I was scared that he could be some sort spy or something
Yeah,
because
me
how
as
he
well.
acted.
Yep.
That maybe he would take vengeance for those pirates or something like that. But sorry, I got to write down some stuff in my book because I didn't take care of it lately. And he just sits down and writes so many paragraphs. It's
Perfect.
our adventure, but dumbed down, and
Yep.
the characters are papered in like John Carpenter of Mars style of
Yeah. Oh, I
story.
love it.
It's horrible.
While you're
It's
writing, you
pulp,
notice, because you just did all the work with your sigils, you're sort of checking on them out of the corner of your eye, I presume.
definitely.
But when you look up at Martin standing at the wheel again, I mean, the ship is rocking. You're at the dock, but the ship is moving, and he's kind of not. He's just like, he's got perfect sea legs, right? He's there. But what you see is that he's got that black and white checkered thing over his mouth, but in various places the military stuff has been ripped off. He's been, he's been demoted and chucked out, right?
Yeah.
But in various places he's got a little stitched crab in one place. The things that he told you about, there's a drop of waters over here on that's a little pin, and he
He
keeps
sounds
sort of
so magic in his
yeah,
clothes.
yeah. So not only is he talented, he's also magically charged himself.
Definitely a smart guy.
And you guys look, and the crew is just like they're in their realm too. They were already doing really well. They were cleaning stuff and staying ahead of things, and they were, tarring ropes and changing sails and all that stuff that has to happen. But since Martin has given them the talk up, they're just flying.
I
So
asked I asked Bob if I could go to Captain cabin since I'm not necessary here.
Um, yes, absolutely. Bob says. He sort of grins and he says, "Well," he looks up. He says, well, "I guess that makes me your ensign." Uh, this way, Captain. And he makes a big fancy flourish and kind of grins and waves you to the
Uh,
captain's cabin.
I actually giggle at Bob and go,
and
Ashley, when you walk in, I just want to do this scene before we cut back.
yeah,
Ashley, it's only a
definitely.
couple steps, right? Because it's just under that main deck that they're standing on, right at the very, very back of the ship. They open the door to the captain's cabin. The first thing is there's windows all the way across the back, and what a view! I mean, yes, there's no water, but it's still like an ocean. The sun has the moon is up. The moons are up now, so it's dark out as it always is when you guys travel. But you could almost forget that it's sand and not water. It's so beautiful.
and
The
I
Mhm.
sit down at armchair
Yep,
behind
big
Captain desk
yeah.
and sighed with relief.
Well, you do that, but the armchair you throw yourself into is all like red velour and gold wood. The desk you kick your feet up on is teak. You look around, everything in this room is just crazy over the top, richly appointed, including the big wooden chest just full to overfilling with gold and silver and gems.
I was thinking if sent this chest to my family, but they have enough money.
hmm Bob, it kind of blows through Bob. He's having a great time being your ensign. He's been directing you 12 feet, like 4 meters over and over and over again to get you there. But when he walks in and you kick your feet up, and you sort of, in my head, he sort of reaches over and turns up a lamp, and that lights up the room, and you guys can see this together. And you just hear Bob say, "Holy shit!" And his eyes are he's got gold eyes, right? He's just almost forgot to breathe. He's looking at all these riches.
I still try act normal,
Yep,
and I was thinking about start writing a letter to family in this
perfect.
cabin, cap,
Okay,
ca-
perfect.
captain cabin.
So we're gonna leave you writing that letter for a minute because I want to cut up the back up on the back to John up at the back.
John wanted to talk to Martin, and he would say, "Really good use of inspiring magic and the crew. You know what to do. I also have that spell, but I always forget to use it."
And when he turns to you, he's got a big grin on his face, but he actually looks confused. He's what spell? And his hand goes up and starts touching these little talismans, but it's so automatic. Give me.
Oh,
We're gonna actually get you to give me a roll as to whether you can figure him out. Actually, no, I'm gonna give it to you. I said
okay,
don't burn the points for soul gaze.
yeah,
Burn them now, and I'll give you this for free. Well, not for free because you burned the points.
okay.
Um, he doesn't
So
think he
it would
does
be one
1 point. Yeah, so
point.
burn one. Yeah, he doesn't think he does magic.
Oh, so you don't know? And he would start to explain all of the magic and how do you use it? You must be a natural talent.
The
And
the
he
only
would
thing
start
he'll
to
admit
explain
to
magic theory to him.
the only thing he'll admit to, he listens and he's learning, but it's like he's at school. He's learning something that somebody else does. He refuses to accept that he does magic, except if you push him a little bit, he will admit that that thing he does with the wood is pretty useful, and most people can't do it. Like the mending spell, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll admit to that, but that's it. The rest of it is absolutely subconscious.
Okay. You can think what you want, but you are very, very magical. Good work. And then clap, clap, and the back
And he just
is
grins when you
impressed.
say, yeah. He takes it as the compliment it is intended to be. And he's just like, yeah, I am. He doesn't say that out loud, but you can just see it, right? He's one of those incredibly confident people that it's somehow not annoying because he's got the skills.
To back
Right?
it up.
Yeah.
And he's not boasting, but
No, he really is. Exactly.
he sees the abilities that he has, and he knows
When
his worth.
when you really are the best, it's not bragging. Yeah.
John likes to boast, but Martin is backing it up.
Well, you found a spot where he's not comfortable, but yeah, when, on a boat, this is his place. So
Yeah,
I want to quickly cut
that's
back.
all.
Yeah, I want to cut back down to Ashley and get this letter. I'm assuming this is the letter to family.
Yeah,
So I'm usually not specific, but I want to ask a couple specific questions this time. How do you explain taking control of the pirate ship to your family?
I always thought that this may be sound crazy, but I still with my friends ship from pirates because we needed to to move forward
Mm-hmm.
at Sunsea.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And what else do you tell them? Because you did lots of stuff that I can imagine not wanting to tell my parents. But what, is there? Let me put it. Let me make it easier. Is there anything that you leave out or sugarcoat?
No,
No. Okay.
maybe I only don't say about this package from Diddy Bastard
Okay. Okay.
because
Yep.
I feel like it brought a little all of this bomb and I don't want give him.
You don't want to give them any bad ideas. I love it. Oh, that is so. Oh, that is so big, sister. It hurts. Perfect. That is beautiful. Thank you. This is why I asked these questions. So, um, Dizzy pecks at your door, and somehow you're bonded. Actually, you're there's not somehow you're literally bonded with Dizzy, so he knows
I
it's time.
don't
Yeah.
he don't come. I
Oh,
come to this
oh okay.
because he feels sick
Yeah.
and it's under
Yeah.
deck.
So when you get to his room, you open the door. He's pulled his head in. He's wiped himself off. He's doing his absolute best. He's not sick right now. You can see the laser focus in his eyes. It's like this is his job and he's gonna do it. And he
And
leans forward. Yep.
I pat his head and neck.
And he will get a break from this sickness
That's true. If you
because
send him, yeah.
he he won't be on the sea for a minute or two.
Uh, and I give this letter
Yep.
and water before he
And some water.
depart.
Perfect. And you send him on the mission. Are you going to use the other? You're about to have. Actually, no, you're not about to have a
No,
rest. So tonight, yeah, you're not going to go with tonight because, yeah, perfect. Okay. So in that case, a couple minutes pass, and Dizzy comes back, and uh, he's got a big grin on his beak, which I know that doesn't make sense, but that's how it's drawn in my head. So that's how it's drawn. He's got a great big grin on his beak, and one eye is slightly wobbly. He's not like Hermes. He's not wrecked. He's medicated, and you can smell your mother's ginger soup that she's fed to him. It's kind of having a weird side effect. It's kind of a soporific. It's kind of making him a little sleepy, but it has fixed his rotten tummy. Speaking of which, there is a note and there's a bag attached to the note, and you can smell the bag the second he pops back into the ship. It smells like cookies.
I declare that again cookies,
So
and I read a letter.
he opened the letter, and at the top, in very large letters, your mother has written, "Oh dear!" and multiple exclamation points. Underneath that, "Pirates!" multiple explanation points. And then your dad has written, "Calm down, dear." And then your mother has written, "I will not." And then your brother has taken it away and written at the bottom, "You're the coolest sister ever. When you get back, you got to tell my friends I'm not lying."
I smile to this letter and back the letter and back to Captain Cabin. And
What?
before I go to Captain Cabin,
Mhm.
I ask John to come to Captain Cabin
Yep.
because he would love this room.
Yeah.
He would totally come and he would marvel at everything and take notes because I will decorate my room exactly this way when I will be that small bastard. It
And
would be amazing. And when he sees the gold, he would say to Bob, Mr. Bobert, maybe we should give some to the crew to boost up morale or something like that.
yeah, when we get where we're going, for right now, I'm just pretending it's not real, because if that's real, see? So I have to pretend it's not real.
Okay, so maybe we should transport it to somewhere else with magic so it doesn't get lost uh, in the fight or something.
Oh, I don't think we're going to lose the fight.
Oh, okay. I just want to be safe because Ashley says to me all the time to be more what you call it? Not dying, not I forget the word.
Mature,
Mature.
No, that's not it.
As you say that word,
That's impossible
as you say
for
that
me.
word, the package of cookies falls open, and you can see the round sugar cookies, like you make them in a tube and then you slice them, but they're round cookies, and on them in a darker icing, each one of them has an eye patch and a happy face. They're
That's
pirate
so
cookies from your
cute.
mom.
John, where the one?
With pleasure, and we have to give one to Martin as well.
And there's a hint of
He's such a
ginger in
good
them too, so
magician.
you can tell it's going to help settle your stomach if your stomach was bothering you, or anybody who has these cookies.
With that, we should add, we should give also to Bob.
Oh, and we should. Do you have something to help Hermes because I'm worried about him, and I'm not good with medicine. And
There are enough cookies for everyone on board, the Hermes, and yourselves to have several each.
okay,
I
uh,
give them.
and John would go
Oh, I
to
love this.
Hermes and try to like help him,
Yeah.
give him some cookies, give him some backpacks, and
Mhm.
he's very worried about his friend
Yep.
that
And
is
after the
feeling bad.
cookies, Hermes is just, he looks kind of like Dizzy did when he got back. He just kind of thunk and starts to pass out.
Go to sleep,
Turns out the
buddy, and
TRX is like Ginger in a different way. So, but, so yes, they're asleep. Pirate cookies. You, Ashley, you said, are you giving them out to everybody?
Yeah,
Wow, what a team! Like the morale was already here, and then
yeah.
the captain comes out of the cabin and gives everybody cookies. It's like, come on, pirate cookies? Are you kidding me? With that beautiful moment, 2 hours has passed, and Martin looks down at the two of you and he says, "Are we ready?"
Ever already like ever before.
Do we have
Okay.
any rope? I want to tie myself down with a rope. And he would go down and tie down Hermes and tie down Dizzy to their beds so they will not
Okay, yeah,
jiggle
yeah,
in the storm. And he would stay above deck to
yep.
help with magic if it becomes bad, but he's tied himself to the mast.
Perfect. Because yeah, you guys have been asked to, as they passing through the storm, to help the crew clean the sails, shovel the deck, and
Yes.
attack any enemies that show up.
And he
And
would cover his face cover with all of the handkerchiefs. He would cover almost all of his
Yep.
face like a turban,
Perfect.
just a slit for the eyes.
And Ashley,
Yeah.
what is?
actually
Yeah.
we look around, see if we are a sniper rifle and later cover her face with handkerchief
Mhm.
and hood on
Absolutely
head.
go into full sniper mode. Now, I'm gonna just make a couple of possible suggestions. I'll give you three to make it easy for locations. Right up on the bowsprit, like on the actual piece of wood that sticks out of the front of the pirate ship, you can lay on that, and I'll say it's stable because you're so good at it. You could snipe from there. The reason I mention that is because it's the furthest forward you can get, so you'll see stuff coming. Another spot would be back from that on the actual prow of the ship where the bowsprit comes onto the deck. So you'd actually be on the deck with a little wall to protect you. So not quite as forward, but a lot sort of more protected. And the third one I think would be on the foremast up at the first crossarm, where there's a nice big, it's not the crow's nest, but there's a nice big basket hanging there that you can sit in, or anywhere else that you can think of.
First, first, first
Right up on the
position.
bowsprit. I love it. So yeah, you now look like the Ashley now looks like the figurehead of the ship, laying out on the bow, on
Oh,
the
that's
bowsprit,
so
rifle
cool.
in hand. Meanwhile, up on the deck at the very far back end of the ship, you can hardly see each other if you were to look. Is John and Martin back up at the wheel, right?
Yeah,
Oh no,
John
sorry,
is,
your
yeah,
midships tied to the mast, right? Never mind.
yeah.
Yeah, and then at the very back is Martin. He looks
And
over.
he's got his gun ready, his potions are ready because he used up half of his magic, but
Yep.
he's ready to chuck some Red Bull magic potions
I
and save the ship if it's needed.
need a drink of coffee because this is going to be fun.
No problem.
With the nod of his head, Martin signals that then three huge hawsers are pulled up off of the shore, releasing the ship. A wave passes by, and without even thinking, he's only got one hand on one prong of the wheel right now, and he just kind of and moves with this wave. And in an instant, because this is solid, not liquid, he's surfing the ship on this wave. The outgoing wind is just helping. He's actually using the dips. He's like almost like using it like moguls to propel himself forward. The end result is the ship looks like it's that, but to you guys on board, it stays almost perfectly flat. It moves up and down and sort of side to side, but there's no heaving and twisting. It's amazingly stable, and he's not even trying. You blast out of the bay, and Ashley, you were right. You can see it coming. It's like a whole different level of storm as soon as you get out of this bay. And he's just plowing towards it, and you're up there on the bowsprit, just bang, bang, bang. You see a huge arm of something pulled free of the sand, and something else with teeth going whap, 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 trying to kill it. And they smash back into the sand in front of you as you cross that invisible line. And suddenly, instead of little wells, you're in mountainous sandy waves. 5, 6, 7 meters tall. And because they're not driven by wind, they come in different directions. They're not all in a set like waves on Earth. They're coming in from everywhere. But somehow the ship just moves. It looks like a wave's going to crash over you, and then it collapses right in front of you, and bang, you've got a moment of perfectly clear vision again. And it's just that over and over and over again. I'm going to come back to you in a second. I just want to set the image for everyone.
Mhm.
John, amidships, the crew around you is sweeping, and they've taken up singing the corporate anthem again. But you're going to have to make our first roll because you look up and see that the ones that are cleaning the sails are falling behind a little bit.
The
So-
people.
The people that are cleaning the sails, yeah.
So John, being inspired by Martin, I
Yeah.
think he didn't use this spell at all this campaign,
Uh-huh.
but he would put some magic behind his words, and he would yell to them, You can do better. You're so amazing." And using one magical point, he
Yep.
would put words of power behind his words, and it's inspired. It's it's written to find an ideal,
Yeah.
and by speaking to the people, make them live up to this ideal.
Ah, in the real world, I heard in my head, I got some friends that play Helldiver, and I heard for democracy.
Yes.
But for this, I think probably something like that. But the corporate words that you heard.
I
in the
believe
anthem.
in you with
Yeah,
the
it's
power
just
of
that,
friendship
absolutely,
and
yep, perfect. Yep.
corporacy.
He should say, we are big family and
Yep.
stuff like that.
Yes,
Yeah.
we
Like
are amazing
corporation.
sailors and merchants with the power of mercantile strength. We
Yeah,
will
but-
survive this.
Yeah.
But I mean also that in corporation there's a lot talk like we are big family.
Yes,
Yeah.
we will have Pizza Tuesday and Fruity
Casual Fridays.
And you
Yeah.
forget you forget Fruit Tuesdays.
Yes.
like that.
Fruity Fridays.
And every third Thursday we change underwear. Bob, you change with Bill. Bill, you change with Steve. No, sorry. Yeah. With your inspiration and not mine, they start using their feet as well as their hands, kicking the sails clean.
And also should be said that you will get our fitness cards. Blue.
Yeah.
As they're pulling
And
ropes
we will
and
get
shoveling
dental.
dirt. It's like, oh, good, I can go to the gym after this. But my point is, I wanted to give the impression that everybody's busy, everybody's working, except maybe Martin. He's still just cruising back there driving the ship, right?
Yes, and
But at that moment, yeah,
they can see that John is still upholding the sigil
yes,
to scare off the monsters. So
perfect timing.
not like he's not doing anything, because
Oh yeah,
even if you don't see magic, there is some, like on the hot day when this is kind of hotness from the sun, you can see some visible waves. It's kind of like that with
Yep.
John's magic.
exactly. The perfect timing, because as you turn to concentrate on that, you see a tentacled arm with a big claw on the end rise up above the ship. Before you can even think, your sigil that's on the deck of the ship launches. It starts off as just a red blob, and as it moves along, it takes on form and it turns into a giant crab. This is one of the ones that Martin told you didn't like crabs, and the impact is like an avalanche hitting a volcano. It's just like two epic forces, and they fall down. This battle is going to go on for ages. In fact, when they hit, the whole ship gets lifted on a wave, and finally Martin reaches over and actually puts his second hand on the wheel. Go oh, and then back down and back to one hand. Like he's still not even getting pushed, but it lands right there beside the ship. You look down, that part of the sigil is gone now off the deck, but that monster, it falls back into the depths, and the ship, Martin corrects slightly
I
and
was
continues on. Ashley?
I was thinking that I will pour my bullets on Reef into poison before shooting.
Yep. You can absolutely. You got poison
Yes,
bullets. Yep.
and seeing that John kind of got worried because he felt that attack and he has only 4 points,
Yeah.
so he would chuck his first potion because he has 2, and you
Yeah.
said that 1 potion gave 5 points back, so he will be back to 8
Perfect. So yeah,
to
suddenly
smite
going,
some
hey,
monsters.
shit, I have a limitation. Ah, look.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. So you recharge, thus being mature, I think is the word we're using this week to describe John's attempted states of being.
Yes,
Ah.
he's making an attempt.
Perfect.
An attempt to
And
sleep.
I use this poison to these monsters
Oh, I
to
love it.
shoot
Yep.
faster.
Yep. Yep. I'd love it. So let's actually do that because there's what pops up in front of you and tries to pull you off the bowsprit, Ashley, is actually you realize part of a monster. Like the big parts over there, this is sort of like almost like the gills, and it's almost just sucking you in by accident. But it's right here. So you take a shot?
Yeah,
Okay.
but before I pour it into poison.
Yes, absolutely. So I'm just gonna bring up the oops, there it is. It was up there already. A 10. So yes, you blam, and the shot goes off. It hits, goes right into the gill area, and because it's such sensitive tissue, that part just flinches back. Because the whole creature is hunting something else, it keeps moving away, but that part is no longer a threat to you. But 6 to 10 means there is a difficult choice here. Um, you can you realize you're in a very exposed position out here, so your choice is you can choose to stay out here but accept that you're going to be attacked more, or lose your next action to move back behind the little wall at the front of the ship.
Hey,
Stay. Come and get me. Dipping more bullets and poison and loading your rifle. I love it. Let's do it. Yes, that means you will be targeted by some future attacks by staying out here. But that's what you wanted
I
anyway.
got a question.
Yep.
Could seeing that could John make a bubble shield around Ashley to give her like
You've got the shield
um,
spell, right?
yes, a magic
Yep.
shield for
Yep.
1 mana point because
Absolutely.
he's
Yep.
worried about her.
Yep. So
Let me
I'm
help you, Olilu. Have a bubble of power, and it's like pink
Yeah.
bubble of force shield. It's like
Nice.
bubble that kids make with soap. It's look like soap bubble.
Ashley,
Mhm.
Ashley, shocked. Yeah, thank you.
So there's
And
Ashley,
she's
yeah, all hooded up, laying up on the bowsprit with these poison pellets in her rifle, just getting ready to shoot sea monsters wrapped in a big pink bubble. And that's the only color because this is pen and
Yes.
ink. This whole chapter is supposed to be pen and ink. So you are the only color in this entire book.
But,
It really
but I
fits,
have,
John.
but I have shocked that John what I think about protect
Yes.
me.
Yeah.
I'm learning
It's
from
a
you.
big moment.
He's yelling.
So Ashley, you hear him yelling that, and so for a second you look back and you see John standing there, all bedecked in all his glory. He's so happy with himself. I'm learning, kind of like yeah. And then behind that you see Martin standing up there sailing the ship, behind Martin, one of these big arms that you saw earlier comes up. It's actually got sort of almost like a clawed hand on the end, and it slithers over the back of the ship and reaches towards.
I yell, Martin, beware, back here, behind you, and I shot.
And he starts to turn, and before you can even squeeze the trigger, I'll save you the round. He starts to turn. As he does, you see a flash of bright blue, like aquamarine blue, magic. You've seen enough of it to know what this is. Fires out of his where his one of his epaulets used to be, and hits that thing behind him, and it's just, and it's like Star Trek when you get shot with the phaser. It doesn't explode, it doesn't disappear, it just disappears. It just fades to black and it's gone. So by the time he turns and looks, there's nothing there, and he kind of looks back at you and goes back to steering the ship. He has no idea that he just did that.
I start to think like Scar in Lion King. I'm surrounded by idiots.
But the luckiest or most heroic idiots ever. And you go back
And,
on
and
guard
John
for
would
the ship.
yell to Martin, "You are doing magic! You're a magic man!"
No. And then a big wave comes and almost washes you over, but he straightens himself out again. So now, yes. Out of the storm, in spite of all the monsters, in spite of everything else, Ashley, you see them first because you're up at the front. It's another ship. And they're not struggling either. They are being sailed by a crew at least as good as yours. And over the sound of the sandy storm, you can hear distant guitar chords. These guys have never given up.
And,
They came and
and
they
I
found
say,
the ship and they're
and,
coming after you.
and then I say, oh no, just here we go again.
And
And I yell, we have company, guys. Prepare
That's what we
cannons.
get for being merciful.
and you hear, as you yell that, you hear 32 gun ports, 16 on each side, and 32 cannons, 16 on each side, out all the holes. And your merchant marine guys with like their shirts tied around their heads with like hankies, and they're covered in gunpowder and having the time of their lives. They get to be pirates. How great is this, right? They got hired to be boring old people that just take this caravan across the desert, and now they're getting to be pirates. um at the helm, Martin just leans his head back and laughs, and that same blue color just pours off of him like somebody's hit Phil Page on your Photoshop, right? It just over the whole world and the whole ship for just a second goes this beautiful blue color, and the laugh just resonates. And as you flip the page, there's the splash page of the ship just cresting on the, I said the only color you've seen, but that was so far because this page is still pen and ink, but it's all dark blue ink instead of black. And it's the ship riding the crest of this wave with Ashley hanging off the front inside this bubble that's now sort of pulled around her by the very speed of your attack. The sand blowing in the sails, the storm blowing in the background, the pirate ship heading to its soon to be infinite doom as the ship starts to turn underneath you as the captain brings his first broadside to bear. Ashley, you're first. What do? You look over and you see it's the same people, right? It's the same group of pirates that's been chasing you all along. So you can see the captain back standing at the back in his force shield at the command of the ship with the little guy beside him actually doing the ship steering. And other than that, it's just a
And
bunch of
start,
pirates getting ready to attack. Yep.
and start to think if I could use anything to make that monster attack pirates more.
course you can.
like bait,
Of
like bait.
course you can. That's absolutely brilliant. So yes, it's going to work. What have you got? What have you got? What have you got? Oh, you don't have to have anything. All you need to have is your amazing building. I'm gonna have you make a roll, and then if it doesn't work, I'm gonna pretend I didn't have you make the roll. So let's see.
Okay.
18. You made it beautiful. You eight, absolutely lovely. So, in my head, tell me if this works for you. You see one of these creatures sort of like cresting like a whale does to take a breath of the air above the sand and start to go back down. And you see this chance where you could shoot them, it would hit them, bounce off, and then hit the pirate ship so that maybe you might make it think that the pirate ship shot at it.
Yeah,
Okay,
I do this
perfect.
because I
Yeah.
really want monsters more attacking these
Yes.
pirates.
Oh yeah, this is you guys are so good at this. I love this. Yes. So yeah, blam, the shot goes off and it goes under the water. So for a second you can't tell if it's worked or not, but then you see the wave banking towards the pirate ship. It's heading in that direction. At that moment, the pirates, not having the same sort of discipline as you guys do, fire off their first broadside of cannons, but they haven't turned yet, so it just kind of goes sizzling across the top of the sand sea to your left, just pinging across the top of the surface. And realize that cannon fire is a little different out here.
Shame I also can't use this love bomb potion that monster will attack them. But I don't know how this could work, so better not.
Let me explain how this works. We back up a little bit, and instead of being poisoned, the last bullet was dipped in love potion. So nothing changes except the intent.
The monster is
So-
in love with their ship.
Yes, the monster thinks their ship is the sexiest thing afloat. So yep. Oh, that is so good. Yep. And we it was the 18. We're going to use the same shot. So yeah, you shot it right in the love gland, and it the first thing it saw was the ship, and it has fallen in love with the ship.
Oh.
Oh,
And we
no.
still didn't kill the guest NPC pirates.
Nope.
So
Well,
we
okay.
are still the good guys.
You're still technically the good guys. Yep.
Good guys.
So you
technically.
sent the monster after the
And
ship.
we and we create better love story than Twilight.
Yeah, we improv the better monsters than yes. Okay, so with that magnificent moment, you see with intent the monster moving towards the ship. John, what do you do in this moment?
John would just point and laugh because he was thinking that when we would shoot our volley, he would make a fiery avenger of one of those balls.
Well,
That
that's
we would
about
shoot,
to
but-
happen because they don't know. Yeah, the ship is about to fire, so you could certainly prepare that.
That was my idea to engulf one of the air cannonballs in a rainbow fire.
Fireballs. I got it.
because- Yes.
Yeah, you want to cast fireball?
He usually uses it on his sword or staff, but
Yeah.
this time he would point at the cannonball and say, "Go and fire,
So
pyro."
the side of the ship facing the pirates explodes in gun smoke. And you can, the weird part with cannonballs is you can see them. It's really wild. And you see a couple of them hit short, but like I said, they bounce because this is sand, not water, and they often bounced on water too. They bounce and start hitting the side of the other ship and just shattering big holes in it. As a response to that, the monster in love heaves up and interposes itself between your gunfire and the pirate ship. It's protecting its love from your vicious attacks.
I start here. Maybe we should let it go and move on, since they are busy with love.
Yeah.
Yes, John would yell, "Conservaramo!"
It's okay. So they stop firing. The port slams shut. The guys on the other side are like, "Oh, not even a shot." As Martin yells back at you, Ashley, and says, "Way ahead of you!" and just spins the wheel, and the ship spins and turns away, going in a direction that the pirates aren't going to be able to follow you. Well, not closely anyway. They're not going to be able to stay close. So, and the ship, besides which they've got an amorous monster to deal with, so they've got problems of their own. But as you pull away from that, you kind of almost in the background, another arm reaches up and tries to grab the ship, but another one of your sigils, John, goes off on the deck, and a huge ball of water hits it, turns it into mud, and it falls back, mortally wounded, into the sea, almost before you can move. You look
I
down.
also yell to John, what if you use, John, your amulet speed?
Oh, we could sail faster, I think. I can try.
Okay. I
Uh,
like
But
this. Yeah.
what think Martin about it? I yell.
Martin! And he would try to describe the amulet to Martin, its power.
He just grins at you and says, "It sounds like it's still sailing to me." And he kind of braces his feet, and he won't put his second hand on the wheel, but it's kind of hovering.
So I thought that John is not stuck to the pole, but he's got some leeway. So
Okay.
he would go down, lie down
Yeah.
next to the silk and sigil and turn on the amulet and like try to give this power to the ship,
It
like be one with the
spreads.
ship.
Yep. It crawls over the surface of the ship and everybody on it, like lichen growing, but really fast. Just and it gets to both ends of the ship, and it's like everything else outside of that slows down. And you look out inside the bubble, everything is normal because Einstein was apparently right, and it's all about the velocity of the observer relative to the event. Because you guys
And
are
the
still
icon
sailing.
is hot pink
Yeah, of
because
course it
it's
is. Yeah,
John
of course it is. You
with
guys are putting
flowers.
color into this black and white book. I
Yeah.
love it. You look up and Martin starts to laugh because everything's going so slow. The second hand drops away, and his first hand he just puts one finger on the wheel, and it just
Mhm.
do. And you're just like you see everything outside the ship seems to you like it's going past very slowly, but the reactions that you see, like you go and they go, you're screaming fast compared to them. And after sort of 30 or 40 seconds of that, John, it's like running a marathon with this whole ship on your back. Like it's just it's you could keep going, but it's it would you'd have to
John
start
O'Dear.
making rules to continue on. I'll give you what you did for free, but if you want to keep going, yeah.
Okay, so maybe he would check health of the second potion to keep it going.
Okay. I was going to say take 1 point of physical damage if you want to keep going for sort of another little bit and make damn sure you get clear.
So I think he would waste the use the second potion to keep it going.
Okay.
So no
Yeah.
extra
Yeah.
magic, but power the 5 points of magic into the amulet to keep it going.
Okay. So yeah.
No blood magic this time.
No. So you just it's like I said, it seems to you like you're moving perfectly normal speed
Yeah.
across a very slow environment. But you quickly leave everything behind you. And you can see the moons never move here, but there's ways watching the stars you can tell it's time passes and it's passing quite quickly. And when you finally have to let it go,
Yeah, I
John
cannot take it anymore. Sorry.
and yeah, Martin grabs hold again and goes back to steering, still only one-handed. He looks around and says, "This should be over soon." And John, you feel it like well, I'm going to use the expression oil on water.
Yes,
He-
John has suddenly bags under his eyes,
Yeah.
like he didn't sleep 3 nights in a row.
So you
Like
come down
he's
from your
tired.
magic and you just get washed over by a quick flash of Martin's magic, and the seas go calm. You can feel the beasts just leaving the area. The wind is still blowing, so the sand is still in the air. You still have perfect cover. You still have motive force, but you no longer have to worry about the waves. To be honest, Martin looks a little
I,
sad. Yep.
I yell to Martin and crew, I can go down to my cabin or still better on guard.
Martin sort of makes a movement with the wheel, and the ship sort of heels to one side, and he kind of luffs it in the wind. So basically, he's parked the ship without having to drop an anchor. And he says, "We're getting quite close, actually, and anything you'd want to do before we run the gamut, this would be the time to do it."
So I,
I still have some magic, but I want to sleep. If something happens, yell to me, and I will wake up. And he takes his magic stuff and holds it like a body pillow, and just starts to
uh,
doze off.
Yep.
I got back to cabin, Capitan, and I start to write a Capitan log about its travel.
Oh, what's tell us the log? Tell
I
us the
love it.
log.
Because it was a pirate ship, you find an empty logbook that they had never used, so you can actually. Well, I love this because it's an empty, it's blank, but it is a logbook. So when you open the cover, expecting to find the previous captain's log, there's nothing there. But the first page says name of ship, and it's blank. What do you write in?
I remember then John named the ship John and Ashley or something like that.
Wonderful John and Ashley, I think it was, or something like that. But Ashley can change that if she wants.
I
John
stay
wouldn't be
this name.
Okay.
I don't remember it exactly, but I think it was something like Wonderful John and Brave Ashley or something like that.
So maybe wonderful and brave.
Yeah. But there was our names. In
Otherwise,
that.
you'll have to paint it all the way down the side of the ship.
Yeah.
So yes, okay.
And that's what John would do
All right.
with his magic.
So yeah, that if that's the name,
He's
that's the name.
done
Yes,
like
that's
that.
that's what you enter into it. You flip
And
it
it's in
over.
rainbow letters.
Yeah, and right underneath that, Ashley, the next line says captain's name.
I write Ashley, John, and Bob.
Oh.
And
Democratic Captain.
and then you flip the page and start to write the actual log. I love
Because
it.
because Martin is not captain, only navigator.
Yep. Oh yes, he would. He would not. He does not want to be in charge. He doesn't like in charge.
But I wrote about him in a log.
Yes, of course. Yep. That makes perfect sense. So, do the two of you want? I'm reading into this. You'd both like a rest before you run the gauntlet.
Yes,
Yeah.
and elected.
John would want to sleep, but he doesn't meet any. He still has 6 points
Oh yeah. No problem.
of magic.
Actually, we write for letter, but not send still.
Okay.
But we have no time.
So
I'm kind of giggling. I'm giggling because I'm imagining Ashley trying to have to explain what you did to the monster to your parents. So that was it's quite funny.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I think like brother will love this.
yes, but if we have a renewal sleep,
Yep, yep.
then if we get our points back, that John would pump his 6 points to make a shield around the ship,
That makes sense. And
like
then get
a
it all back
huge
overnight.
shield.
Yep.
Yeah.
Perfect.
To make us safer, to protect us from the suns, and it still gives us wind. So
Yep.
it's
So
something like that.
as dawn rises and you get ready to rest, you can see on the horizon now the ships that you're going to have to get past. Martin assures you that with the mist and the sand the way it is, they can't see you, but you can see them. And it's a whole row of ships along there. That's what you're going to have to get past. Martin says, I know of some coves. There's 5 or 6 of them. We'll have to poke our nose in here and there. We'll find one that's got little or no protection. We'll be fine. It's just a matter of time. Don't worry about that lot. They're idiots.
Martin, if you want, I can magically spy on the coves if you need. But tell me what to search. I can do that after I sleep a little
Okay.
because it's
In
a
the morning?
big
Okay.
spell.
Perfect. Yeah. And then, Ashley, what plans do you have?
Just go to sleep because I don't want wake up dizzy
Fair. Yeah.
after finishing a letter.
Yeah. And you said finish it, but not send it, right?
Yeah, because like I said, I don't want wake up dizzy.
Yeah. Makes perfect sense. You
So
just have a well-earned snooze.
yeah. So maybe instead of using this magic for the shield, he would do two shadow seeks to find the perfect cove for them to
Okay.
be safe.
Perfect. Okay. So I'm gonna do the you guys have your sleep, and then when you wake up, it's getting dark,
Yeah.
and you can see the enemy ships now as a row of bobbing green lights because it's the starboard side. It's green to starboard, red to port. Uh, of the blockading force. It makes it really easy to see them. You can also see that there's a cluster of them near what you're told is that's the port, and then there's less and less of them as you get further away from the port. Um, the ensign, ex-ensign Martin, says there's, I can think of half a dozen places at least, and he pulls out a map and starts uh, using the map to show you where to focus.
Yeah, and John would take out some magic implements and go into a trance using something like this onomatopoeia crystal
Yeah.
to find the best one. And
Okay, the best. Oh, I
he
like
would
that.
look into
Okay.
Shadow Realm
Okay.
and like the Divining Road, which is best.
So yeah, and you kind of get in your head, you get sort of images from each one as you go over them. The main harbor, there's it would be like a destroyer class vessel, big enough to beat the snot out of what you're in.
Yes,
But it
and
is
he
beat
would
up and struggling to stay afloat. There's a cruiser in there, which is a really big ship, and there's also a couple of what look like sand submarines there. So definitely not that one.
and he would say, tell of this to Martin
Yeah.
while he sees it.
And then as you move away from there, the first one that you get to has one of those cruisers. The second one has a destroyer. The third one has what can be best described as a cabin cruiser, like that kind of a boat that a
Yeah.
family would go out on during the day, with a machine gun mounted to the front and a slightly bigger gun mounted in the back. But that appears to be it. So certainly the easiest one to get. If you have to fight them, that would be the easiest one.
Yeah. And after saying that, he would put up his tent on the and next to the mast, and he would go to sleep in his tent while still being connected to the mast.
I'm going to present the two of you. Yeah, as you sleep, so take all your points back. But I'm going to present the two of you those three options again because part of it I didn't say, and that's on me.
Sorry.
No, it's on me, so there's no need for you to be sorry.
Yeah.
I told you what's there: one cruiser, one destroyer, and then this little cabin cruiser thing. What I didn't tell you is how sort of alert they are, how easily Martin thinks he could get by them, and that is in exactly reverse order. So he thinks he's got the best chance of sneaking past the cruiser, but if you don't, you're in a fight you can't win. He thinks he's got a moderate chance of sneaking past the destroyer. If he's wrong, you're in a fight you could win. And he's got almost no confidence in his ability to get past the cabin cruiser, but it would be an easy fight.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
If Ashley could, s- we are shooting, destroy both machine guns.
Oh,
I mean,
yes.
shooting to these machine guns
Yep.
and
Yep.
destroy.
It would be very easy to win that fight. Easy, easy, but loud.
I know. I see. I picture it as we got a war console inside the captain's cabin, and John would say, "But if we fight the luxury cruiser with guns, both of the other ones would come to help because they
They
would
wouldn't
But
be able
hear
to
the
get here.
fight."
To be fair, they wouldn't be able to get here real quick, but they would at the very least know that somebody had landed in that bay.
but if you said it's loud, but sandstorm will not cover
Yep.
the sand.
Yep, absolutely. Like you said, there's a small chance that you would be able to sneak through, and that would be an excellent way to make that a slightly better chance. Yes.
Could John, like, maybe I could make a silent seagull and we could jump there, disabled the weapons, and fight the people there instead of shooting our guns. How
You
about
want
that,
to
Ashley?
you want to SEAL Team Six it?
Also,
Yeah.
also have question.
Mhm.
Ashley could met provincial a quiet thing to a rifle. I mean
Mhm.
something like
Yep,
pillow or stuff.
a silencer of some sort. Absolutely, because this is fantasy. So yes, absolutely, you could do silent shots. And here's I'll even give you the mechanics. You said you wanted to shoot the gun in the back and the gun in the front, right? So you're gonna
Yeah,
take two
to
shots.
destroy.
Yep. If they're both clean successes, so 11 or higher, then nobody hears anything and nobody sees anything. They've just lost their guns, and you'll have the opportunity to sneak by. Less than that will be less successful than that, but that's yeah.
So, so
Does
maybe
that just?
Ashley could.
I just want to quickly want to check with Ashley. Does that work for you as a
Yes,
mechanic? Okay, so that's your part of the plan, John. Yeah,
I thought that maybe Ashley could take care of one gun and John would take care of the other gun.
yeah.
Or
It'll be the
if
same thing in that
Ashley,
case. Each one of you would make a roll, and yeah.
yeah,
yes, if
but if John will do second gun, the people could wake up with this cabin ship and run to this second gun.
okay, so maybe instead of a silencer, John would be Ashley's silencer, and he would do a sigil on Ashley, and that would be his contribution, and Ashley would take care of both guns.
The way your sigils work is they affect creatures, right?
Yes.
So, um, fudge it a little bit. If you put the sigil on their boat telepathically, we're getting close to the end, so I'm willing to let you
Okay.
get away with shit. If you put that on the boat, it would affect the people on the boat and therefore technically follow the rules, right? So the only
Okay.
rule I have to break is that you didn't draw it on the boat because you just concentrate, like you said before, it's all about belief. So you concentrate and you can see it sort of burn
Yes.
itself into the side of the boat.
And do it with the
Yep.
magic stuff.
So what I'm going to do there, I like this. So now Ashley, in my head, Ashley's going to take two shots.
Yes.
Um, but you're going to roll because of the advantage that John gave you. You're going to roll 3 times, and if two of those succeed,
Okay,
does that work? Okay.
Amazing. I love it.
All right. So here we go in the absolute darkness. First of all, we got to get you there because this is where Martin finally actually gets to shine. You hear him start to mutter and sing a little shanty under his breath. It is so rude and so piratey and so old fashioned. It's probably out of an old book somewhere, but you can both just feel the power that's humming out of him. It comes and wraps the ship like your lichen did, but this is like moss because when it covers the ship is almost invisible. Like Wonder Woman's plane, it's just an outline, right?
And it's dark blue because Martin's magic is blue.
Well, for a second, but
Ocean
it
blue.
absolutely almost makes you disappear as you start to creep forward. He's got both hands on the wheel now, but his eyes are closed. He doesn't even know. There's the sand is still blowing, but the wind has more or less stopped, and it doesn't matter because he's sailing into the wind anyway. The only person that doesn't know that this is clearly magical is Martin. He's just and
I
yeah.
I'm thinking if John should not, after this adventure, write to his book all the songs Martin sing.
Yes, I think Ashley could suggest that, and John would take his magic book and start writing.
All right, let's do this. First shot, front or back weapon? The one at the front's a machine gun, the one at back's
Front,
ever. Okay,
because closer.
let's have that be the roll we don't use. That was a one. So you almost squeeze off a shot. Somebody walks out on deck. You stop. You wait till they go below deck. So uh, then you squeeze off the shot. 19. Beautiful. So bang, you shoot the right where the magazine joins the barrel, and your bullet sort of jams in there in such a way that it doesn't look broken, but it's fucked. That gun is not firing anywhere anytime soon. Now you're down to one roll. Anything you want to think about, Ashley? Anything you want to use to
No,
focus? Nope.
I
Just
only take breath
yep.
and slowly leave breath after this shot.
Business as usual, but it's a three. It's an actual failure. You miss altogether the whole ship and plunk into the sand behind it. There's no sound on that boat because they're all deaf, but you do see a head sort of come up and look around. There's nothing to see because the bullet's gone, but they're kind of alert. They haven't looked towards the ship yet. Each of you gets one thing to do. John, you first.
John would just, okay, playtime is over. Let's call the big guns to destroy the big guns. And he would smite the gun with
I
his
would,
Okay.
I would stop it, John,
spell.
and said we should wait when this alert gone.
But if it explodes and now the silence spell could stop it and
Yeah,
we
but
wouldn't have a
I
problem.
feel like this one guy will soon return to his cabin. We just need to be patient and wait.
Okay, John would.
Just
Anyone else, I would say no, but I trust you, so he would back down.
so Ashley, you wait. You kind of eventually, just like every stealth video game ever, his bar goes down and he goes back down inside. Right? Do you shoot again?
Yeah,
This time you're really paying
but
attention. Yep. But
but I want to try more focus.
okay. What do you think about?
Anything that I need success this
Okay.
because second alert will be bad.
It's I'm gonna give you that's a 10 and a 16, so we're gonna split the difference on that. You again you almost let off the shot. You see the head come up for a second, you hold the shot. He reaches out and grabs his drink that he left out there and goes back inside the cabin. And then you just line it up and when you shoot this one, you actually hit the swivel point where the weapon is mounted, and all you see is it goes clunk, but there's no sound because the boat's silenced. So that one's pointed at the sky, non functional. The one at the front is non functional too. And the two of them are not seeing or not hearing anything. And thanks to Martin, it's it's a strange moment because his magic is so powerful you can hardly see each other. Like you're just sort of
I
those hollow
at
glass
at
bubbles. Yeah.
start I start to think that I should give this chest to Martin.
Oh, Martin with
And
this ship would be amazing.
John would have his arm on Ashley and say, "We make a pretty good team."
And Martin goes past this boat just like a meter away. You could reach out and touch the boat. You can smell the drinks in their glasses as you go by. And for the first time, you see Martin really, really focused. Like, again, eyes closed, and he's just muttering to himself. It's, you can tell it's sea shanties again. And he just drifts by. It's impossible, but he does it. And you hear
It's
and
magic.
feel the whole ship beach ever so slightly. He stops singing for a second, opens his eyes. He doesn't even notice that everybody's all but invisible because he doesn't do magic, therefore they can't be. And he says, So, I think this is where my job ends for now.
And I was wait here for a moment, and I go to Captain cabin
Okay?
and grab John with me.
Mm-hmm.
John would go.
And I was asked, John, do you think we should give this? And I point chest to Martin for his great job
The
because
whole chest would be too much. I think.
because but if he not show, we will unable to move
Yes, but
like that.
remember how happy Bob was about that chest. Let's give Martin just some rubies. I look rich. He
Did you
wouldn't think that would be unnatural.
did you bring Bob with you? He was the third person on your captain's list. So is he in
No,
this meeting? No. Okay.
because I
Okay.
remember Bob saying that he pretend he don't see chest.
Yep. That's fair.
Yes. I just don't want to do that to Bob and the rest of the crew of the merchant.
Okay, but I don't know how to give this fair when
Uh,
Martin do so much.
you are right. We should be generous. And John, being a merchant son, he would take a few of the bigger gems, like like with this Martin could buy himself another ship, and John would say this would be enough. I think.
Okay,
Why not
and I
give him
think
this
you
ship?
should.
Take all the stuff, but give him this ship.
Uh, yeah, but first we need move out from the ship
Oh yes.
stuff,
Yeah.
and this will take day or more.
Nope.
Yes.
Nope.
Uh,
This is a graphic novel. I appreciate your attempt at realism, but no, this is going to be a very quick offload because it's not really.
yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
there's extra, there is also question how we return after this mission if we give this ship to Martin.
John would say, "Have some of my family jewels. Wait for us, and there will be more from where that came from." And he would take some of the folks from the merchant company and say, Take this. This is my coffer." And he would take the riches with them.
Okay. Ashley, any thoughts?
I agree to John, and I also take some coins and share with crew from this chest.
Yep. Oh yeah.
And the biggest grab of coins I give Bob.
And he's just like Scrooge McDuck. He actually throws them on the floor and rolls around on them. laughing and giggling, and because they're gold coins, he bends some of them and he has to bend them back after. But yeah, he's just ecstatic. But yes, if you were to ask Martin, he'd take the ship with nothing in it but the people, because he
Yes,
needs a
but
crew. But, yeah,
it
Yeah,
would be
but
better
but
if
he'll wait for
you.
you. He's already agreed to wait for you.
It would be
Yeah.
better if you would just be a part of our crew. You're great, we're great, we were great together.
yeah, but later we move in different ways, and how he will be part of crew when this mission ends, and we go in
But Bob
different.
will take this journey again, and you with Bob. So it would be nice to have a ship and a retainer.
I don't know. We will see. First, we need to focus on finish mission.
Definitely.
Okay, so you then head back up.
Yep.
Okay. So with that, you see Martin standing up at the wheel, and he looks down at you and he says, "The city's over there somewhere, but I don't really know the lay of the land. I'll. It'll take some time to get this all to shore. A couple hours. You know, we got to get it reloaded, and checked, and sorted, and all that good stuff. You've got time to do recon if you want. I would prefer to stay with the ship."
Both of the TRXs probably kiss the ground
Oh yeah,
when they
yeah,
get
yeah.
off.
I finish a letter and send Dizzy when Dizzy go on the ground.
Okay, and so yeah, and yeah. So this time you get back. It's kind of similar to the last one. Mum is worried, but instead of Dad being worried this time, it says, or try to calm your mother down. This one says, it just in very bold print, it says, "We're very, very proud of you."
And what about brother with this love monster?
It says he's yeah he I was grinning because I was just getting to that. It says at the bottom, "Thanks, sis. You've made me a legend."
I allowed to letter and go and with this on record.
Okay. So, the four of you head out.
And I also
Yes,
wanted
Hmm?
well cookies.
Oh yes, there's
yes.
always more cookies.
And
Uh,
John would sit and Hermes change his clothes from the pirate chic to his old peacock
yes, his regular,
coat.
his shore coat, his shore wear. I love it.
Yeah.
So, the two of you ride off into. You got a couple hours before dawn, and it's going to take about that long. So, by the time you go and come back, the ship will be unloaded. Everything will be back on the strand beasts, and they'll be ready to camp for the night here on the shore, hidden from view.
Yeah.
In a group of in some sand dunes, so they can't be seen from the water. The two of you ride off towards the city, and what you see is the remains of a siege. At some point, um, they landed. The Navy landed and tried to surround the city and take it by siege, but it clearly didn't work because you can see the lights in the city are still on. But between you and there's unharvested fields, overgrown roads, shrubs that have grown up like just rotten, nasty little plants. A single century, about 100 to 120 soldiers of the Phyrexian meritocracy and their camp followers and support train sit across the main road into town. The other two smaller gates are guarded by 6 guards each. The infantry is close enough to support them in about 1 minute. So it's going to be difficult to sneak up. Any questions?
I
Those are the
wanted,
bad guys.
I wanted, I wanted this why nobody take care of fields, and later I wonder what we do now, because I think they will not let us go to city,
Yes.
even we will say we are from this company.
John would say to Ashley, "Didn't you have a lot of bombs? Like fire bombs, stink bombs, love bombs?"
We have a lot, but I don't think it's good idea to fight with army because we will broke off.
So here's some information that you might, well, it will be useful. Um, all the soldiers you can see are foot soldiers. There's no horses, there's no rides, there's no vehicles. Everybody's walking. So you guys on your TRXs and the Strand Beasts at full speed are way faster than them. So it's a matter of being able to cross an open space, overcome. I'm assuming you're not going to go through the main gate, but one of the other two gates has got 6 people at it. So you've got to be able to cross the space, take out those 6 people, and get the whole group inside before that
Yeah,
infantry gets to you.
but
So,
yeah, but what
And we
if
have the fast
this?
amulet.
But what if these soldiers, before we defeat them, call for help?
mm-hmm. Or yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
we could get the soldiers the love potion into the soldiers, so the soldiers will fall in love with each other, and then we will be peace and love
They'll
all
love each other,
around.
but they'll still hate you. That doesn't work. But
They
And,
will
this,
be too busy loving each other
and also,
to
I
catch
have
us.
question,
yes.
and also have question, how we can trust people in city they don't call for soldiers?
The people in the city are the ones that want everything that's in your convoy. It's you were told it was essential supplies.
Yeah, but we can everyone trust. They could some fake people.
I'll to answer your question. I'll give John free magic points to spend on a soul
Yeah.
search of the city in general, and your
And they
convoy.
want fruit, they want to pay for it.
Their convoy, your convoy is like a torch being held up to the locals. It's like the light at the end of the tunnel. It's the very much the belief that once you get here and that they get their hands on what's on this convoy, they're going to be able to drive off the invaders and take their island back.
And John would say
Okay,
that to Ashley.
okay,
But it's
then
good that you checked.
And with that level of intensity in mind, and to give everybody a chance to think and to plan, I think this is where we will drop the curtain for this week. The two of you on the final page of the graphic novel, right before all those cheap ads for stuff that don't work, on the back page is the two of you against the skyline, looking
The
down.
winds are blowing. We look
Exactly.
like all the old communist posters where people stand with.
The bichromatic
Yeah,
standing heroically. Yeah.
yeah.
But yes, that, and then in the valley below you, this seemingly insurmountable puzzle of the final stage, the inevitable charge for the gates that's going to be happening in 1 week's time. So, with that, I love this game and I love you guys, and this is so much fun. And thank you for staying up late because again and again and again and again, you go around my intentions and around my expectations and make me smile and laugh and enjoy myself by doing things I did not expect. This the
like
The
for
two
love monster
like for
was great,
example,
Ashley.
what you don't expect it.
the love potion on the monster to make it fall in love with the enemy ship is a perfect example. But you do it all the time. There's I wish I could show you the actual story that I wrote, because you guys, it's like you come up to the story and you go, "Oh no, we're gonna do this instead," and it's like, "Cool," and we do something else. And yeah, it's yeah, you literally went around 3 adventures. You haven't faced a single one of them in the way I expected people to, and I don't usually have expectations, but there's always sort of, you think when you're
Yeah,
when you
lost
present them with this,
plans.
they'll probably do this. You guys have never done what probably, so it makes me super happy, and it makes me just smile. So thank you
I'm
so
happy
much.
that the seagulls help with the
That,
monsters.
well, that, and when that played into that whole scene with the, the fighting of the monsters with the
Yeah,
sigils and everything else. So yeah, all that
it
stuff,
was cool.
amazingly creative. 2 people and a GM can work. It does work. It did work. You just saw it. Those 2 people were Brilchan. Thank you so much for staying up. Now, this week more than ever, for reasons
Yeah,
which shall remain unstated. But
definitely.
thank you for the
Health
effort.
problems.
Yeah.
Let just everybody know everybody has worse days, better days.
Yep.
It's life with chronic conditions.
Yep. Well, that was up to you to release, not to me. So
Yep.
thank you for sharing. And thank you also to Janet. You are one of my favorite players. I'm so glad we found you, because you keep saying, "What do you mean I broke your game? What do you mean I broke?" You do it all the time, and it just comes naturally to you. And that makes you like a jewel, a treasure that I want to have. So thank you so much for coming and playing with us. And yes,
Thank you, and
once this is
thank you,
done,
and
I'll
thank
absolutely
you
find
for
you.
game.
Oh, you are very welcome, and there's going to
Yeah.
be more, because there's no way I'm not playing with you more.
Yes.
Okay, that's enough effusiveness about you guys. I could go on for
Yes.
hours, but I got to get on. I got to move on. So,
Definitely. I just wanted to say that it's worth it, and I know that many folks in the channel have problems similar to mine, and it helped me very much to read about that. So that's why I know that I can be open, and I know that it can help other people's with
yep.
their problems.
Come
Okay,
join our
so
Discord. We
that's
are a
why I say that.
community more. We game, but we're a community first. We're friends first. We're a support group first, because
Definitely.
everybody that wants to play should get to play. It's so basic and so simple. So with that, thank you to everybody that watched the VOD. Thank you to people that watched live, and thank you to everybody that watched on YouTube. If you watched all the way to here on YouTube, please hit all the buttony things at the bottom, because the algorithm likes it when you do that. Please pop a comment in
Like,
there.
subscribe, because when you say subscribe now, you have a rainbow color effect on the subscribe button, and that fits John.
And
And also, please comment.
yes, please
Yes.
comment.
Say Kevin how wonderful he
The
is,
algorithm
because
loves a
he's
comment.
self-deprecating.
uh,
All the hearts for
that's
us
just, oh yes, all the hearts for everybody. But
from
the
the
really
Kulili.
important part, I touched on it earlier, we're a community of friends first. So you don't have to be friends to be nice to people, to be fair, to be reasonable, to, as Will Wheaton puts it, not be a dick. Uh,
Yeah.
I like a little more positive spin on it. So until next time, please be nice to each other. Good night.
Bye.
Bye.